Casting with Ceri Jones.
This week's guest is my first female angler on my podcast. She has represented her country at international level no fewer than a dozen times and been team captain on 2 occasions. She talks about how she started on local streams as a child and goes on to tell us about her love now of fly fishing on still waters. She would love to see more ladies take up fly fishing and gives advice on any females interested in taking up the sport. Welcome to my chat with Alice Davies. Thanks for coming on, Alice.
Well, thank you for asking me, Ceri. Yeah.
Have you done much fishing lately since the lockdown?
Since lockdown was lifted the first time, I try and go out at least once, not twice a week, depending where I can go. Itchy feet this last fortnight because obviously I haven't been able to go out, so hopefully to resume normal fishing next week again till the end of the season anyway.
I know, I've had a couple of calls today, people saying, do you want to go fishing Monday? So everyone's thinking the same thing. I think it is Monday we can go, isn't it? Or is it Tuesday?
Yes.
It is Monday, isn't it?
No, we can go back on Monday. I've booked a boat to go out a week on Thursday on Clywedog, so yes, can't wait for that.
That will be reopening because I know that closed as well, didn't it? Just for the 2 weeks, I guess it was it?
It did, just for the 2 weeks. I'm pleased to say it's back open on the Monday, and I would imagine those fish are willing to play as well. It's exciting fishing up there.
I haven't fished it this year once because it's a further trip for me, so it was not practical for me to do it.
Right. So it's worth you having a go. I mean, we've had some exceptional dry fly fishing on there this year. I've never known anything like it. You know, we get the cocobondi obviously coming out in sort of May, June time, but the hatch of buzzers through this latter part of the season has been astronomical, you know, and it's almost like watching a boiling pot of water with all the fish showing there. It's great.
I can imagine, actually, that I noticed I've never known an autumn to last so long with the colours.
Agree with you, but yes, I have noticed because I try and go out walking, you know, obviously I'm trying to keep fit and keep moving, as it were, and the fly life's still around, you know, even after the frost this morning, go out into the garden and there's still plenty of fly life hovering around the place.
What I found in the past, because with the photography in my head, I'm looking to do autumn pictures, and there's like a window in the past of like 2 weeks, because you normally get a storm and a wind, and it just blows all the leaves off them. But a lot of the trees are still green, some of them around here now.
They are. You're right. On flowers, I've actually still got strawberries growing in the garden.
Have you?
I dare say last night's frost will put paper. I don't think they'll ever come red, but I've got fruit. Yeah, it's an odd summer, odd season.
So hopefully now we can get a couple of weeks in now.
Well, I'm going to make the most of it between Clywedog now till the end of the season. But then I always go fishing to Garnfrwd then, maybe the smaller waters in the area. You know, I'll fish all year round. I'm not keen on not fishing, let's put it like that.
Yeah.
I do enjoy my fishing immensely. And not just for catching the fish. I just enjoy meeting the people, obviously. But, you know, you've got just tremendous wildlife to look at. Just seeing nature at its best. You forget your toils and troubles when you're out fishing as well.
I was out in Garnfrwd a couple of weeks ago, just before this second lockdown. When I got there, it was cold in the morning, and I'm not over keen on just quickly get out and cast your line. So I ordered a Welsh breakfast with Jamie. And I don't know who had when they do in the restaurant there, the cafe. They got cockles and lava bread as well for the breakfast. It was amazing.
Oh, Christine does a good breakfast there. Yeah,
she does, yeah.
Yeah, and nice cup of coffee as well. So it's nice to go to a fishery where you can have a good hearty breakfast or a meal and enjoy some great fishing at the same time.
I specifically went down for one fish which was on my bucket list. I never had one. That was a Spartic trout. And
Oh, yes, yeah.
I had, I think at the end of the day, I had 4 or maybe 5 of them, which I didn't expect. Beautiful, stunning fish. Have you caught them?
Well, you did well to get 4 or 5 Spartics in one session then. I think the most I've had is 2 in a session then. But you did really well to have that amount of Spartics.
Yeah, there was a couple of other lads as well. They had a few. I think, listening to what Jamie was saying, they are a cold water trout, you know, and they do like the colder weather. So maybe over the next couple of weeks, you'll see a lot more activity from them, perhaps.
It's quite possible. I can't wait to go up there and see if I can tempt them to come to my line. Yeah, and they're exciting fish.
They are, yeah. And they're one of the most colourful markings in them I've ever seen, I think.
Yeah, they're quite unique, really. They're a cross of something, aren't they? Is it a rainbow and an American brook trout? Have I got that right? I can't remember quite the cross.
Brook trout and an Arctic char.
Ah, that's it.
Yeah, maybe that's why they're pretty good in cold weather, because the Arctic char.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, because coming from the colder regions, that makes sense. Yeah, genetically made up to survive in colder regions. Yeah.
So tell me, how did you start your fishing, and what age did you start?
Oh, I was small. Let's put it like that. I was under 10, and my father started me off. He enjoyed his fishing. Go down the Towie a lot, usually spinning or worming. I didn't do much fly then. But my earliest memories of going out fishing is there's a couple of small brooks running through the village, or just either side of the village where I live. And I remember catching my first trout, literally dangling a line over the side of the bridge close by me here. And I had a brown trout, a beautiful trout. And it just got me hooked after that. And unfortunately, the little pool I used to fish in is no longer there.
Oh, isn't it?
Exciting. I loved it. So every chance I got, the 2 little streams.
What village is that then?
Well, I live in a little village called Millo, which is, if you like, halfway between Sandailo and Croissants and Sandabeer, actually. So we're a little village, in that sort of triangle.
Yeah.
There's a couple of small streams that run through, and I used to love going down and just casting a line, not fly fishing, but just casting a line with a worm, seeing what I could do. Yeah, all started from there, and then obviously went with my father down to the Towie then and started going for the bigger stuff. And my first salmon I caught was 15.5 pounds many years ago. In fact, it was back in 1973.
Wow.
That was on a spinner, just outside Carmarthen actually. And Dad and I went down, and you could have day tickets in those days on various bits of water, and we went down, and I just cast out. I didn't know what this thing I had on, until it came to the side, and then my father jumping up and down then saying, "Oh my gosh, you've got a salmon on!" And yes, it made very good eating actually at the time.
I was going to say,
plenty of fish in the river in those days.
That fed you for quite some time, I guess. 15.5 pounds.
Oh, it did. And I think, if my memory serves me right, we shared it with the neighbours next door as well.
Yeah.
And it was a nice fish. I certainly lost plenty of salmon, but this particular instance, I was up Sam Gadog. I hooked into a fish, and I was playing it. Oh, it came off anyway. So a few choice words. I turned round, and I had a fishing bag then, not a box or anything like that, and I could see my bag moving. I thought, what's going on here? And when I went to look, there was a mink inside my bag. I don't know who frightened who the most, to be honest with you, but I've never experienced anything like that. He ran off, but he was actually inside my bag, and it was moving across the floor. I thought, this is strange.
Wow.
So, that was quite an exciting...
You didn't have your sandwiches in there, did you?
I might have done, but I might have done, actually. I might have eaten them as well, but anyway, he came out empty-handed or empty-pawed, and ran off into the distance. But, you don't often hear or see that.
So when did you start fly fishing?
Oh, well, I probably, should we say, messed about with fly fishing while I was fishing on the river. Just potted about. I self-taught, really.
Right.
I didn't have any lessons. I taught myself how to do it, and gradually then went, nighttime suing, fishing and flying. Not that I had great success with that, but then caught a couple of sewing in the day on fly, but then decided to go on the lakes really and enjoyed the trout fishing thereafter. I enjoy the rivers, don't get me wrong, go down and as again comes back to nature and the wildlife you see and things like that. But now because the stocks are getting less and I feel the keeping trout in ponds is more sustainable as it were, and it creates jobs and habitat for wildlife. I really do enjoy it, and these days I tend to like to put my fish back.
So I'm the same. I put them all back.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I used to eat trout, but I'm not so keen on it now. I tend to put them back. Obviously, in competition, you can't. You've got to dispatch so many to make it a fair competition, or measure them, whichever the case may be, and put them back, depending on the rules of the competition. But no, my tendency is to put them back unless I got a couple of bills to pay. The barter system does come in handy, and trout have come in useful more than once in paying a couple of bills.
So it's only probably 1 or 2 a year I will eat, and I got this homemade smoker I've got, and it's nice then. I do like them smoked.
Well, do you know what, Ceri? I'm the same as you there. If I was going to eat fish, I'll eat sea fish. I'm not keen on cockles, mind, but I'll eat sea fish, mussels and prawns and that sort of thing. But trout and salmon now, no, I can do without. But I do enjoy smoked fish.
Yeah.
And that includes the trout and the salmon.
So this year you fished Gamfruit a couple of times. You had some nice fish as well from there this year, haven't you?
I've had a couple of crackers out of there. I caught back a bit ago a lovely blue, literally out of the blue. I wasn't expecting it. Although he didn't put up a big fight, mainly because he must have gone down into the weeds. He must have been, 12 pound plus, let's put it like that.
Wow.
Lovely fish. Went back, and a couple of weeks later I had a rainbow not far off the same mark again, which went back, and the rainbow was caught on a buzzer. A lovely place to fish, yeah. Yeah,
it's a very imitative water as well, isn't it? You can probably catch more fish on imitative patterns than you would on just pullers.
Well, the most success I've had with Gamfruit this year has either been on dries or nymphs. Is it? I haven't done a lot of pulling there at all. Tend to like to try and use naturals where possible, and this worked for me successfully. I hope to go back to Gamfruit early next week now after this lockdown has lifted, as well as go to Clywedog, just to get out again and give these fish a bit of my flies a bit of a swim.
You moved on then to competition fishing. How did that come about?
Well, I can blame my husband Trevor for that. It started back. I was working then for an agricultural company, and I was working up in the Royal Welsh Show, and Trev came up with me, and he happened to go onto the Worcester stand, and they were looking for women for joining the Welsh team, and he suggested to me, why don't you give it a go? So anyway, cutting a long story short, I trialled, and my first trial I came fourth, I think, out of the girls that were trialling, and my first international competition, if you like, was on Sandegford with the girls in 2010.
Right. A home international?
Yeah, and I've been in home international, yeah.
How did you do that one?
So, I think I caught about 6, I seem to recall. I mean, as a team, we didn't do very well, but I was pleased with my efforts, considering it was my first international then. I'm still learning now. You never stop learning with fishing. Yeah, and I've been in the Welsh team ever since. I'm very proud to be part of the Welsh ladies team as well.
Every year you fished for the team, have you?
Every year. Trialled every year.
So what's that, about 10, 11, 12 caps or something, is it?
Well, I had 11 caps. Obviously, we didn't get to go to the international, which should have been in Scotland this year, on the Lake of Menteith. But, it would have been my 12th cap, it would have been this year. They put it forward to next year, and I'm sincerely hoping we can get up to Menteith.
Have you fished Menteith before?
Yes.
What's it
We've
like?
had one international up there. Oh, great. Yes.
I've never fished it.
At the time, well, it's quite amusing, really. At the time when we were up at Menteith last, I drove half the team up in in a crew bus, as it were, because I tend to be the designated driver if we go anywhere with part of the team. And we drove up on I think it was the Friday, and it was terrible weather, absolutely awful. It was freezing. There was snow on the mountains, and it was awful. And then as the week progressed, it sort of warmed up. When it came to International Day on the Thursday, it was 33 degrees on the water. It had gone from snowy tops to no tops because it was so hot. In fact, we had some cases of heat stroke because it was so hot in the water, and the first time that all the coaches were coming out with water just to keep us hydrated. It was that hot.
Wow.
It was because none of us were prepared for that after, the weather we had preceding that Thursday.
So you don't know what to take next year now then? You'll probably have...
Oh, I'm taking winter woolies on a bikini next year, I tell you what, because we don't know what to say.
No, I bet. I've heard there's good fishing up there, though.
Yeah, because you can use a lot of small nymphy type things up there, and it goes well on the dries as well.
All right.
Yeah, it depends again on the time of year that you go up there. I think we're destined to go up in May, if all being well. So we should have, big buzzer hatches coming off then. That's what worked for us last time, was very small buzzers.
I know you were captain when I was over on Ireland as the coach, and you were captain somewhere else as well, were you? Where was the other international you were captain?
Right, yeah. I was captain in Draycott last year.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I was captain. When I was captain in Ireland, when you coached us, I shouldn't have been captain. Somebody else should have been captain, but they pulled out, and then somebody else should have been captain, and they pulled out. So I ended up filling the gap, if you like, when then. Yeah, and I was proper captain last year. Then I under my own rights, as it were, at Draycott. Yeah, that's a nice fishery to fish.
I was looking through your Facebook page now, actually, before I give you a call, and there was a fish. It might have been on that same trip then, was it? There was a brown you had in Draycott. Was that the same trip, a big brown?
Yeah. Oh, it was a big brown, yeah. And he was quite distinctive because he had a little bit of an undercut jaw. I happened to see a fish rise. I cast to him with a dry fly, and he just took it. Incredible fight.
How big was it?
And crikey, he was thinking about 6 or 7 pounds.
Wow.
Good fish then. Yeah, but I think he'd been about a bit. He looked like he was drawing his pension. But he went back anyway, and then nice and safe and sound. Just happened to put dries on for that particular time because there was a bit of hatch coming off, and he took the dry straight away.
It's a lovely water, Draycott.
Yes, it is. I enjoy fishing Draycott. Fish that in competitions, mainly the trout master. Enjoy that competition because there's a bit of both worlds. You've got to fish the bank one half of the day, and you fish both the other half of the day. Because I qualified at Clywedog and then went to the final. Yeah, enjoy fishing it. And my highest placing in that, I think I was 8th.
Right.
2 years ago.
You must have had a prize for that trout then, did you?
Well, because I came 8th in that competition, I had a free entry the following year because the top 10 you get an automatic.
Right.
If you want to fish it the following year. So I was lucky. I didn't really have to, even though I could have qualified the following year, I didn't have to.
Do they still run that now?
Well, yes. Obviously, the final wasn't held this year. In fact, qualified to fish the fish off at Clywedog, and they haven't been able to hold it. So still haven't, if you like, had a fish off for last year yet.
Right.
Or this year, I should say.
It'd be interesting.
So I'm hoping that might take place.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens next year because the trout fishermen has merged with trout and salmon, or whether or not they'll carry on with the competition. I wonder. At the moment, they're still saying it is.
All right. Because at the moment, because it's as you say, they've incorporated the magazine within the trout and salmon, and there is a designated feature, if you like, then for the trout master competition in that. And it gives you who's had the heaviest fish in each fishery then, who's qualified. Yeah.
Do you tie your own flies then?
Well, I do. To a fashion, I hasten to add. I'm hoping to do more of it this winter and improve my tying skills. Let's put it like that.
Yeah.
I have caught on my own flies, I'm very proud to say, but there are some marvellous fly tyers out there, and there's no way I can compete with them.
Are
I know
you
that.
are you a member of any club?
Yes, member of Sanila Angling Club or
Right.
Angling Association. Yeah, very proud to be a member of them, actually. We do hold club competitions every year, but unfortunately we haven't been able to hold club competitions this year. We had one get-together back in September where we held a friendly competition then within the club. It was very well supported, actually, and
Oh,
I
right.
managed to come third that time. Yeah,
Oh, well done.
yeah,
That's one
yeah,
thing has
yeah,
this
yeah.
come out of this lockdown for me. I went off the boil for time flies for a number of years. But when you're obviously stuck in the house, then I started back up again and I got the bug now. I've just ordered a load more
Right,
materials and it's like,
that's good. So, what flies do you like tying then, Ceri?
well, as regards for pleasure tying, I like the Irish loch styles. The mayflies, the big
Ah, right,
hackles, the French partridges, that sort of thing. As
right.
regards, for the still waters and the reservoirs around here, buzzers are straightforward. But I'm ordering a lot of the dyed materials now to tie a lot more Irish patterns. That's one thing I like, and I missed it this year, Ireland. I haven't been out there this year for the first time in about 30 years almost, I think. Have you fished many
Yeah, I
countries?
enjoyed. Oh, that Ireland, Scotland, and England. That's basically it. I've done a fair bit in Ireland actually. Pleasure fishing, mainly the lochs up in the hills like McCullochuddy's Reeks. The Gap of Dunlow,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
which you're probably familiar with. Well, I've fished those little lakes up there with the little small brown trout. Great fun, absolute great. Not on a boat, just gone up and just cast a line. And they're not very big. They're about 6 to 10 inches maybe, but incredible fish to catch. Yeah, done that and fished Loch Melvin and where's it, Loch Tara when we had the international out there.
Yeah.
So enjoy the brown trout fishing. You've got to be quick. You've got to
Yeah.
be quick.
Melvin
sure.
is nice, isn't it?
Yeah, Melvin is lovely. Yes, yeah. I look forward to going back there fishing one day.
Did you catch any of those Sonahan there?
No, I didn't. Yeah.
Because in Melvin, I fished it a couple of times, and you got these Sonahan and these shoals, and they're out in the deep. So you don't have to, well, as normally when you're fishing for the browns in Ireland, you're going around the islands and the shores and the shallow water. These Sonahan, they're out in the middle. And then when you come across them, you'll have 2 or 3 in a cast. It's brilliant. I've also got these gillaroos, but they're close, hugging the shallow waters and the sides, and they're almost like an orangey golden colour. They were something else.
That's it. I remember the gillaroos now that you've said that.
I've never had anything big. I think the ones I've had were like 3/4 a pound. But I remember one of the boys once from the Midlands, he was up there and he had one £5. A £5 gillaroo, which is like super rare. I think he's had it, sent it to a taxidermist. So I've never seen it. That'd be some fish to see. I noticed as well on your Facebook page, you were holding a tuna.
Oh yes, that was exciting. Yeah, on holiday in Cyprus, we got friends out there. We said, "Oh, I'd love to go fishing," and they had a friend that had a boat. So,
yeah.
What you going to do? Aren't you? You're going to go out. We went out and we just went out to tuna fishing, and I caught that. We caught a couple that night actually, and he kept couple, but we took one back to where we were staying. We were staying in a villa then, and I promptly cut it up, as it were. A hell of a thing to try and take the skin off. It's almost like cardboard, It's not like skin, like trout skin, which just peels back. It was literally like leather coming off. But we had tuna for quite a few days, whether it was carpaccio or on the barbecue or just plain cooked. It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Wow.
And it fed, there was 6 of us staying in this villa, and it fed us for 2 or 3 days.
How did you catch them? What was you using then?
Oh, like a Rapala. It was more or less trawling out the back, really. But they weren't that readily caught, but we were lucky to get the ones that we did. But this particular man that took us out, that's what he was doing. He was a retired army person, and he went out and just caught a few trout to keep him going. He'd retired to Cyprus, and tuna, I mean. And yeah, so he took us out and said, like, you can keep one, and whatever else you catch, I'll keep the others.
That's a good deal, isn't it?
He was selling. Oh, it was a good deal. Yeah, and it was such a beautiful evening as well, because we went out in the evening. It was great. Yeah,
Wow.
I really enjoyed that.
Is there anywhere on your bucket list you want to fish?
Oh, as many places as I can, really. Wouldn't mind having a go at, these exotic waters for bonefish. I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
On the fly. But I'm very much happy doing what I'm doing. Just going out catching the trout, I get a lot of pleasure from it. Yeah, just keep doing what I'm doing. Maybe visit more waters, because there's lots of good waters to be had. There's a couple of years ago, I was down on holiday in the West Country, and there's a Wimbleball, the reservoir down there. Went on holiday, as I said, and went there purely to fish. We either fished Wimbleball or Clatworthy or Hawkstridge. Anyway, not in the boat, off the bank. I caught a 9 3/4 pound one day. A couple of days later, I had a 10.5 pound trout of Wimbleball. Yeah, and it was mentioned in dispatches in the Trout magazine that some Welsh lady had been down there and caught these big fish.
Wow.
So yeah.
That's a great fish. It's a lovely place. I was down there a couple of months ago, not to fish, but I just happened to pass there, and I was walking the bank. I fished it many, many years ago with John Horsey, but we'd have nothing like that. They were like a 2 pound fish. Lovely, lovely water. A lot of the time, big fish are caught on the bank. I don't know what it is. Whether they hug the sides, but I find that often.
Well, it could be. I just don't know what it was. I had more or less two of the biggest fish that particular week. Whether it was, I think it was more luck than judgment. Yeah, they were good fighting fish as well. They take them out of the back in no trouble at all.
Sammy, how strong is it now, the Welsh ladies team, for getting places? Would be welcome to get more women into the team?
It would be great to have more women just to do fishing in general. Yes, and it would be nice to have more ladies to come forward and have a go for the team. There's a lot of camaraderie there. We've had an unfortunate thing that Rhiann Taylor, one of our members, sadly passed away earlier this year, which has left a huge hole in the team, and she was such a character and kept us together when we needed to be kept together, particularly with our dressing.
Yeah.
And she rallied us if we needed to do any singing or anything like that. She was fantastic. As I say, and unfortunately, she passed away rather suddenly.
Yeah. That was a hell of a shock to say, wasn't it? If somebody's listening, how do they get involved then? Would they have to contact Worcester?
Well, they can contact Worcester by all means, but they can contact me or any of us in the Welsh team. Simon Davies is our coach at the moment, and if anybody wants to contact him, he's on Facebook. Also, there is what they call LAD, which is the Welsh Ladies Angling Development. Which again, Nika Pritchard started off some time ago, along with some members of the Welsh team, to try and encourage lady anglers. It's not specifically for fly fishing, although it's predominantly for fly fishing. But lads, we'd love to have more women come forward and say, come on, I want to give this a go, because it's difficult juggling, the home life with things like this. I appreciate it for both men and women. But if you can find the time just to go out and even pleasure fish, it's such a rewarding hobby, and you make a lot of friends as well.
Yeah.
And once you've made a friend in angling circles, they're sort of a friend for good, sort of, going forward.
Well, what I'll do, I'll put in the story notes of the podcast numerous links you just mentioned now, so they can get in touch with any of those. I'm
secretary of LAD now. Unfortunately, as I say, Rhiann was, but I'm secretary now. Barbara Thorne is from Letterston, then is the chairperson. Enid Edwards, my mate Enid, is the treasurer, and Nika Pritchard is our president. Any of us can be contacted, and if anybody wants to have a go, please come forward. We'd be more than happy to assist with any trying it out, tuition, anything like that.
Just before we wrap up, there's one more question I ask everyone to finish off is, where would you want to be to make your last cast?
I've thought long and hard about this, and I think I'd want to go back where it all started, which is on the little stream either side of my village. I would love to go back and cast a line into those streams. I know one of the streams has still got brown trout in it, those streams.
That's
and who
lovely.
knows, one day I might.
Yeah, that's a lovely thought.
I do a lot of walking, and on this one particular bridge I crossed on one of these streams, the wildlife, the damselflies and everything, and I was watching the trout coming up for the flies in the sunlight streaming through the trees down on this particular pool. Beautiful. You can't beat that.
Well, I hope you'll do well next year in Monteith. Hopefully,
Thank you.
maybe before then, maybe the next couple of weeks, I'll either see you in Garnfrood or Clywedog maybe.
Well, if I see you in Garnfrood, Ceri, I'll buy you a coffee.
All right, I'll make sure I'm there then.
There we are. Good.
All
Look
right.
forward to seeing you.
Yeah, thanks for the chat, Alice.
Okay, take care now.
And you. Take care.
Okay,
Thanks
all the
again.
best, Ceri.
If this is your first time tuning in, make sure you catch all future episodes by clicking subscribe via the links on my website, castingwithkerryjones.com, or via iTunes or your favourite podcatcher. If you like what you've heard on this episode, feel free to drop me a line via my website. Tell me what you've enjoyed, ask a question, or better yet, tell me what you want to hear more of in the future. And if you're looking for additional tips, tackle reviews or venue information, or just want to see what's been hitting the back of my net lately, search up Casting with Kerry Jones on Facebook or follow me on Instagram. And if you still want more, I'm regularly uploading video content onto the Casting with Kerry Jones YouTube channel, so just check that out and subscribe over there too. Wherever you follow, subscribe, comment or message, I look forward to catching up soon for a good fishing chat. Well, I think that's all for now, so until next time, tight lines and don't strike too soon.